Hello everybody and welcome to the Rain on Your Parade any percent no DLC guide. This is just going to be a pretty basic guide on how to get your time down, the basic route, and some of the small little tricks and stuff that are used. Rain on Your Parade isn't a too difficult game as far as the run goes, but there's some small things in there, especially for any percent, that are good to know in order to get your time down. So time starts as soon as you hit start, and then we're forced into a cutscene here. You just mash B to skip through both of those, and then A to begin. So in this level, you're just going to rain on the bride, and then the groom, pause, and end level. Now since we finished the objective that needed a star, the next level gets unlocked. We don't actually have to go through and rain on everybody. Just have to do the start objectives, and that's going to be very important throughout the run. A very important note to make in your head. Pausing and ending level is going to be something you do after almost every run, or almost every level except a couple. So moving on to dumpster fire, mash B to skip the dumpster's text at the beginning, and try to rain on everything that's got fire on it. Go back and forth across the dumpster twice, and then hit all the boxes. Then pause and then level. Sometimes if they don't walk perfectly, the fire can spread a little bit. That's not too big of a deal when you're just starting out, but eventually that will become a reset point very early on. So, keep going up here and hit B to skip his talking. Don't start the level right here, move past him and start it somewhere back here in this area, because if you start it back here, he'll talk to you again and that'll lose some time. So you want to start it past where his dialogue trigger is, which is right around the second palm tree. Just rain on it to start it, and try to follow this route-ish around the humans. Anything works, you just gotta rain on all of them. And the level, move on. So garden here is another pretty easy level. Mash B at the start, hit begin, and just rain enough to grow a garden. Everyone will kind of have their own movements for this. Follow this, it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, just make sure the fountain is filled, because that gives some pretty good points. And rain enough to grow a garden, pretty simple level there. Now I'm moving on to the school, so just once you go past the worm, start mashing B in order to skip text. Also, this is on Xbox controller, inputs might be different on Switch controller. See if Grandma's talking at the beginning, and go right to the blue stuff. And put that in the science tubes here. Then keep going past it to a sleepy teacher. Rain on him to wake him up. And then move back towards the gym area and rain on the volcano. And go back down, hit the yellow stuff, and put that in there to create an explosion. Now this level will probably seem pretty complex, so I highly recommend practicing this one a lot, especially if you're just starting out. It's a really good one to know. After you do all those three things, just pause and then level. This is Mosh Pit, and this is our first example of a skippable level. All you have to do is hit begin, pause, and then level. Since it's score-based, it just lets you unlock the next level no matter what you do. Next we got Warehouse here, and what you're going to do is just kind of try to follow this route the best you can, but as long as everything catches on fire, it's not too big a deal how you do it. This is just the way it works well for me. So begin, go down to the oil, make sure it touches the wood, make sure it gets around the barrels, make sure some of it touches those, hit the fire, make sure it hits the mattresses, bring it along down here, and it'll hopefully hit the fireworks as it goes, and then just let it spread from there. Not too hard of a level, once you got an idea of what to do. So just experiment with that one to figure out what works for you. So, since it's any percent, neither of these two levels, the birthday party level and cardboard gear solid, neither of those are important. It might be cardboard gear cloud. I'm actually not sure what that level's called. But those aren't required for any percent, as they're completely optional. They don't lead to anything else. So those are not important. So move right along the farm. And what you're going to do here, you need to destroy all the yellow wheat and hit all of the vehicles. So you're going to go get the acid from the river, go behind the house, and come along this path to hit that tractor and that truck. And you're just going to kind of do a zigzag-ish pattern along the beat in order to destroy it. You can hit those two vehicles on the way through or after you're done destroying it. Either work, and then just come over, hit this truck, pause, and then level. Pretty simple. So our next one is the first dry spell level. Dr. Dry Spell, main villain of the game. I'm gonna assume you've already played it to know the story. Skip through the cutscene and the text, and begin. So this is where I, as a keyboard, or as a PC player, switch over to keyboard in order to get pretty precise stuff through the movement. It's not essential that you do this, like, you can still play it just fine on controller, but I just like to play this level that way. Some runners will use it for a couple others as well, and all levels use it a bit more. But this is one of the levels where you do not have to pause and exit, just let it play out. After you hit it, match through this, skip the text obviously, and end level. So that's Thunder. So now we have, boom, Thunder. Nothing really special with Thunder that you gotta know. It sets things on fire, that can be kind of important. But in the Spooky Forest Road, you're gonna just hit umbrellas and then soak them. The only thing I would advise here is make sure that you let Cloudy's face go back to neutral after hitting the umbrella. Sometimes Cloudy will want to soak them properly if you do it too quickly after using Thunder, so just give it a little bit of downtime in there. So in this level, you're gonna just hit the fire and try to hit right in between these two tents to set them both on fire at the same time. That saves time over going to one, then the other, and it'll make life a little easier. Also starting forest fire. I know it's a little hard to see, but there's one right here. Come over, soak that, hit the tent, keep moving along to the fire on the cliff, and go kind of down left across this mountain, into the corner here, there's a tree flying, hit that fire and that tent, pause, and level. Quite simple. Another optional level here, we don't worry about it, we're moving right along. This is our next score-based level, begin, pause, and end. Very simple. So now we're coming up on our first level with a major skip in it. If you played it casually, you'll probably know the Office level has 4 chapters or episodes that wants you to play out, each with a different kind of story. However, there's a skip that you can do, so just mash through that with B in order to get there. So the first episode is soaking all the office workers. So hit that guy, that one, that one, that one, go down, hit that one if it's running away, if not, just ignore it for a minute. 1, 2, 3, and there. And then pause and end level. Now, it will still give you the star, and you'll still unlock the next levels, but you won't have to have played through all 4 chapters. It makes that a whole lot quicker. It takes about 5 minutes, so make sure to do that. It's not a hard skip by any means. Alright, this level is ridiculously long, so you don't do it. We got pretty much an auto-scroller here. So all we gotta do is rain on the Weatherman for a bit. It might seem slow, but it's faster than Cloudy Hill there. So while we got some downtime here, I'll explain what the main difference is between any percent no DLC and any percent with DLC. Any percent with DLC does not mean that you have to play through the DLC levels. It just means that you don't get access to the Mega Drop ability, which you get as soon as you install the DLC. Now, based off the 2 times on the leaderboard right now, Mega Drop can save almost a minute. Maybe a little less, but around there from the run. So I've decided to split them into no DLC with DLC. The route does change a little bit with DLC, but it's nothing too awful drastic. I might make a guide for that eventually, but yeah, that's the only real difference. If you do want to speedrun the actual DLC in those levels, there is a category for that in the miscellaneous section. So, that clears up that. It ends. Now we have another kind of skip-ish thing. So mash through B to hit that, and I'm just going to pause it while I explain this. So the waiter, right, the guy with the tray there, right next to the pause menu, has a certain cycle that he will go on as he grabs food and gives it to a table. Now, he's always going to get the food not long after the ding and deliver it in about, I don't know, a few seconds after that, probably around 20 seconds afterwards, less, whatever. It's not too important. But if we can hit him before he delivers the food, we complete the objective a whole lot faster than we would if we didn't. So, that is where this strat, early waiter, comes in. And I'll demonstrate it here and explain it afterwards. This requires pretty tight gameplay. It's kind of lenient, kind of not. But if you hear the ding right around there, you know you got it pretty well. Now collect the nasty water, fill everyone's wine glasses with it. Follow this route on the wine glasses. Almost anything else will either miss one or be slow. Make sure you go around that pillar and hit that. That might take a little bit of getting used to. And hit the waiter as he has the food there. And that is early waiter. It's not hard once you get the hang of it. Just practice that level a little bit. And what I did at the end there, just fill the blender, then zap the power thing, and it'll go off, and then you can pause next to it. Alright. So now we have the second dry spell level, mash through his text, and now we just have to rate it. It is probably the easiest dry spell level out of all of them. Try your best to not get hit, it's not too important. Just follow this route as you go. That one, we're good. That's another level you don't need to pause getting done. But speaking of pausing and ending, this one, pause and level. It's meant to just be a fun level where you can paint, but pausing and ending works just as well when speedrunning. So mash B through that, and then A through that, pause and level. You now have the snow ability. So snow is gonna be pretty useful, even in the later stuff. And yeah, I'll try my best to show off all this. So for this one, just move right to the right, hit both of them. Try to hit both of them at least. If you can't, just leave some snow on the road and make sure the car hits it. And worry about that guy in the bus stop later. He doesn't always cooperate, and this is a really slow run right now, but we'll get over it. Yeah, do some work with snow, make sure you're kind of comfortable with it. I usually like to hit that before the second one arrives, but it didn't work out that way. So in this level, you need to put some people in snowballs and send them off the mountain. There's two ways to do this. You can either send them off the mountain like that, you can send them back along the trail, which I guess I'm not all demonstrating. Never mind, they're all flying perfectly, and they never do. Yeah, you can just send them that way, and it still counts. Sometimes they'll clip through the fence as well. Not super common. This is another pause and end level. All you gotta do is smash B, pause as soon as possible, and end. You can get 0.0 there if you do it right. This level is a pain in the ass. And I say that, yeah, it is. So what you want to do here, in a perfect world, is go to this corner approximately, snow, and put a perfect path there for that second slider that comes down to hit, and go in the water like so. However, and I'm going to try to demonstrate this here, they won't always do that. If your positioning is off in any way, or you don't hit it just right, they only go in when I don't need them to go in, but sometimes they won't go in and you'll end up losing some time. The best strategy is to try to set a path for the first slider as they come back down, and hope that that will get them in the water. But yeah, that can be a reset point at some time, but if you're just starting out, don't worry about resetting on that. Just try to finish your runs. Alright, so now we have another semi-complex level. We have to raise a zombie of an undead zombie army. So go here and pick up that boot and hit all of the grave areas, I guess, is the best term for it, and any people that are standing near them, and then keep moving along. Now the zombies will do their own pathfinding on the people. So as I notice the people, he'll go for him, and it's not too big a deal. The only thing you need to make sure you do, at least right here, is put any SWAT team members into snowballs. That is very important to do, so you won't lose any of your zombie army. So move down after you go through that first area, and get the oil here. And then you gotta put that on this barrel, and zap it with thunder, and then it'll explode, opening a path for your zombies. That's all you really gotta do through there. Keep going down, find the next group of SWAT team members, and just cover them all with snow. For these, use thunder to blast them backwards towards here, as this is where you want your zombies to go, and they'll pass through to other people before you, especially if you're not right there. We're gonna move back up, and we're gonna start tracking them towards you. And yeah, just guide them along, and you'll be good. Not too complex of a level, but it's complex enough to where I figured it was good to mention a little more about it. Apparently that one got stuck and I didn't realize it, but that's okay. Just be a little more careful right there than I just was. You also don't need to pause and end here, just let it finish up. So this is where the run can split, and will split. If you're just starting out and just trying to finish your run, I absolutely recommend that you do this level, the cleaners, instead of the other level. You just have to clean the bathroom using water. Pretty simple. Just go up, down, clean it. Gotta help the grandma out somehow. Yeah, it's not too long a level compared to the other one, and it's not RNG heavy. I think you get the idea by now. But if you're going for a pretty good time, this level is going to be what you're going to try to play, Cloud Out. And what you want to do is just set a layer of snow for the guy in the snowball to bounce off of, and slowly speed up and go ridiculously fast. Now, this level can either save a ton of time if you get really good RNG with it, or you can lose you a ton of time if you get awful RNG with it. It is the biggest run killer in any set at a high level. If you get lucky with it, then he'll break all of them extremely quickly, and if you don't, he will just bounce around everything, like he's doing right now. Come on, one block. Eventually you can cancel him out if you need to be able to just stop thunder, but that's the fastest potential way, and with really good RNG it can become a really good level to play. But if you don't want to lose a run to RNG, do the cleaners. Alright, so next up is the weather station, and this has a couple of things to look out for. So first off, you gotta skip through this, and then I broke the game. Okay, so that's fun. You cannot end level right now, and I have no clue why this happens. But the objectives didn't show up, so we can't do anything. I will be back in but a moment to show more of that off. That is the one way that the game can truly crash. It's a weird crash. I have no clue why it happens. I don't know how you can prevent it. It's killed my runs in the past, which is frustrating. I don't know how to reproduce it. It's kind of at random. But yeah, it's a weird ass glitch. Anyways, let's go over the actual level here. Mash through that, and then now that it actually appears, you know that you can play through it. So, now the game hasn't crashed, go up to the very top and hit this 4 times. 4. We're going to point the camera right at the weatherman, then go over there, and trap him with Snowball, and then use Thunder to transport him. He can be a little frustrating to transport sometimes. Try your best to move him along and get him past the table, past all that, and through this set of doors here. Move him straight down, best you can, through that door. Just move him along until he goes down the stairs. Once you know he's going down the stairs, you move back towards the camera. and then you put on your very own weather show. And you also don't have to pause and end level here, it ends for you. So this is our third dry spell level, and this one's interesting. So what you need to do is avoid the turret shots and lay snow on the tracks. That's all you have to do. Hit the buttons with thunder anytime they appear, and yeah, that's all you really gotta do. See a button, you gotta press it. If you get lucky, you can sometimes make them shoot each other, which will get a very fast kill, but it's pretty luck dependent. We haven't found a consistent setup yet. Yeah, just lay snow on the tracks 3 times here. So they all blow up, and then you can go to the end of the cave, which is just straight ahead. And level, going ahead. Now we have 28. Alright, I just need to take a second, and I'll be right back to finish explaining how Tornado works.
Ah. Ow. Ah. Stop it.